Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do our February the 9th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. I'm recording from the lovely state of Iowa. I'm in the hotel lobby. A bit awkward. There's no one here, though, so let's go ahead and enjoy our time together while we can, okay? February 9th, self-acceptance. When we accept ourselves, we can accept others into our lives unconditionally, probably for the first time. And that comes from the IP number 19, self acceptance. From our earliest memories, many of us felt like we never belonged. No matter how big the gathering, we always felt apart from the crowd. We had a hard time fitting in. Deep down, we believe that if we really let others get to know us, they would reject us. Perhaps our addiction began to germinate in this climate of self centeredness. Many of us hid the pain of our alienation with an attitude of defiance. In effect, we told the world, you don't need me. Well, I don't need you either. I've got my drugs and I can take care of myself. The further our addiction progressed, the higher the walls we built around us. Those walls begin to fall when we start finding acceptance from other recovering addicts. With this acceptance from others, we began to learn the important principle of self acceptance. And when we start to accept ourselves, we can allow others to take part in our lives without fear of rejection. Just for today, I'm accepted in NA. I fit in. Today, it's safe to start letting others into my life. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the We version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is MightyStream, and I'm here with you today, February 9th. And it's one of those days where thinking about self-acceptance and thinking about self-centeredness and thinking about how desperate used to be to have someone affirm me, to have someone say, I accept you. And if they didn't say it, I at least want to feel that they did. And how much that played into my using over and over and over. I was one of those needy type people. I needed to be accepted. I needed to have you laugh at my quirky jokes. I needed to not necessarily even be the center of attention. I just needed to be um, the center of your attention, especially if you were the center of my attention. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I would have individuals that I was crushing or admired, sometimes even jealous of. And I wanted to know that they spend as much time thinking about me as I did of them. And ultimately, most of the time, because I'm just being honest, they never did. Some of them never even gave me a second thought. I was crushing on myself, all by myself, rather, right? So, how did I deal with that sense of rejection? It really wasn't even rejection; it was a sense of rejection because it was a sense of also needing to be important in someone else's life. It wasn't reality. I didn't need to be important in their lives. I had a sense that I needed to be. And so when they couldn't obviously measure up to that expectation that I had. It was a sense of rejection. How many of us can honestly say that the rejection that we claim that we experience, right, throughout life, the abandonment that we claim we experience is 100% legit, that we were actually rejected, we were actually abandoned? How many of us can actually say that that's the case? And if we can, is it the case in every situation? Or was some of it just a figment of my and your imagination? So we have to begin to start. Begin to start. We have to begin to, to look at the truth, whatever that is, because it's that truth that's going to ultimately lead us to the place where we can look at our issues truthfully and use that analysis to be able to determine if using is worth it, or was it just something that we chose to do? You know, self-acceptance is huge. It's a huge piece. As a matter of fact, if you're listening and you haven't already done so, you're new maybe, you may not be aware that these IPs that we have at our meetings, this one is number 19, you may not be aware of just how special they are. You want to get yourself a copy. You want to be one of the type of people who go to meetings and you see that literature, you take one, right? And you put your name on it and you write the word save in a box and you put it in your basic text, right? Shove it in one of your books that you have. And whenever you need it, you go back to that one, right? You don't need one at every meeting, right? Because then that's, you know, a sense of self-centeredness. I'm always taking the IPs and I have tons of them stacked up, wasting the group's money. No, get one and keep it. And when you're having issues with accepting yourself, grab that IP. Grab the IP and read it. Because today, I don't know if you feel it or not, if you sense it or not, but honestly, we all come here with so many problems. No one's rejecting you. Half the time, we're so caught up in our own issues that we don't really even realize that you're struggling with your issues. So don't be so worried about that, right? You're accepted in NA. You already fit in. Just because you're an addict, you actually already fit in and you have a desire to stop using. That makes you a member. This isn't like a Prince and Prance audition to be a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I wish I would. I think I probably did to some extent in the beginning, especially for me when it came to service work, right? I wanted to do service work so that everyone knew just how serious I was about this fellowship and being a member. And that proved absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. If anything, for me, I don't know about you, but for me, it really revealed how much pride I had and how much of a desire I had to be noticed. You know, but I grew into it over time, and you will too. But here's the point. This isn't a gauging system. No one's trying to figure out how well you fit in. No one is even thinking about that here. So it is safe to start letting us know you, get to know you. Yeah, it's safe to start doing that. And you know what? It's also safe for you to start getting to know someone else. And it's amazing when people, I think the proof of this, right? And I'm gonna cut it short, but cut it short. The proof of this is when people actually do their fifth step and they begin to share, their history, right? The good parts and the bad part. And they see acceptance in the face of the person they're doing their fifth step with, that they're not being rejected. It's amazing. The things that we share with other people in that fifth step, and all we see is love and acceptance. Here's the thing: self acceptance is called self acceptance because it's about the self accepting itself, not about anything or anyone else. It's about me accepting me enough to the point where I'll take a chance on sharing who I am with you, right? I prove day after day that I have nailed that piece, but it's not always a constant. I still lapse into unacceptance of myself. But I have this IP as well. I have it on deck. I have it as well. And I'm always willing to take a look at how well I'm doing in that area. And I hope you are too. Listen, people are starting to gather and get their breakfast and it's starting to get loud. So I'm going to end this. I'm here to bury my father. And so I thank you for all of your condolences and your best wishes. Normally, when I'm in this hotel, I'm here to sing, but today it's different. I hope that you will go ahead and have a beautiful day on purpose. And you know what? Regardless to my circumstance, I'm also going to have a beautiful day on purpose. Talk to you tomorrow.